Hello and welcome to this segment of Sister to Sister. If you've tuned in before, or if you've seen us before, you know we are opinionated. And this question is no different, and here it is. Girls, would you prefer a male or a female boss?
It doesn't make a difference to me as far as gender, but I do want someone who is a good leader. I know the Christian response is I want somebody that's following God, somebody that, you know, but the chances are in the world you may not get a boss that's going to be a believer, you know. So hopefully they are a good leader and they can facilitate things well, and they can just recognize the gift of the people that are around them and put it to good use.
Well, so you've never had a female or a male that you've had an issue?
I've had both, and I've had issues with both, and I've done good with both.
Okay.
So, you know.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Male, female?
I don't know. I don't know if I want a male or a female boss. I just want to be the boss. I mean, if we're being honest,
I like that, Corey.
That's really what it comes down to. No, but honestly, I'm going to use the word that Roxy uses. I'm sorry, I'm stealing it. But there's no gender bias here. Really honestly, I've had both. I've had issues with both. I've liked both. Really, it's more about the character that makes up the person.
That's right.
I want somebody that is not a micromanager, that gives me autonomy.
That's right.
That is able to listen, that wants me to succeed. You know, those are the things that I look for in a boss. And I think it's important. This is kind of going over into the business world, but when you are interviewing for a job, I think it's very important to try to glean what the type of boss is, to see if that's a good match. That's an important part when you get a job, of making sure there's a match there, because having a bad boss is like one of the worst things in the world.
I like the confidence of Corey. She's not worried about getting hired. She's worrying about, am I going to like that boss? I like that.
That is so true, because you need to, when I was younger, I made the mistakes of allowing them to interview me. But when you go for jobs, you need to interview them, because you need to know, is this a good fit? I've left for many jobs because it wasn't a good fit.
I love these sisters, but I really love your opinion on this,
Well,
Roxanne.
you know, I'll go with the gender bias, and I agree. Thank you, Corey. I'm glad I'm teaching you something. Oh, wow, kudos to that. But that being said, I'm going to say my opinion. Yeah, I've had the blessing of having bosses, whether or not they're Christians, you're right, Flo, that I had to respect and honor that position. And when you give that kind of respect, I think you glean it back as an employee.
That's a good point.
To their boss or an employer. And I had the opportunity to work with people that had integrity and skill. But I do have to say something about working with a female. I did enjoy it in a different way, in a personal way. You know, you talk about family, you talk about some female experiences, you talk about juggling your career and your roles, and there's a lot of learning, even when older women teach younger. You know, it's a biblical perspective that comes in the workforce, I think quite naturally, because we're both female. So although I enjoy working with both, I think there was a little bit more of a personal edge when I was working with a female.
I like that too. And you are a female boss.
Right, and I've only worked for male bosses. I was thinking back throughout my history, I haven't had that many jobs because I've been pastoring for 20 years.
Wow.
I mean, that's a long life.
Old, are you?
You know, then singing and dancing at a museum, like a theater park thing. So, I mean, I haven't had a ton of jobs, but I've only worked for men. But as a female boss, as a hashtag girl boss, it sounds all cool, but it's just really a lot of work and issues and problem solving. But I want to champion the female women around me. I actually want them to stand on my shoulders, do more, and go further than I have. And hopefully all female bosses feel like that, not an intimidation by their skill set, gifts, talents, what they bring to the table, but hopefully we can take that and help as a leader just launch them like an arrow to do even better than we are ourselves.
Well, you know what's interesting about this is nobody on this panel said a female boss would be jealous and keep me down, which is kind of what I think that the world might assume that a woman would say about a female boss. But the girls, my sisters, we come to the world from a biblical standpoint, and you can tell from our hearts and our answers that we put Jesus first and the kingdom of God first. And so male or female, no matter. Hey, thanks for joining us. See you next time.